And here's what the leaked report has to say. The long-awaited 748-page report instead suggests a cost-sharing model where government spends a fixed 1% of GDP to subsidize universities while students pay fees according to the fair and affordable structure. It also recommends an income-contingent loan system where students repay their debt based on their post-qualification salaries. The system would replace the National Student Financial Aid Scheme, and further it suggests total scrapping of registration fees that fuels protests each year. And finally, it recommends a free fee structure for TVET students with 100% funding from the Department of Higher Education and Training, and also a stipend for TVET students who generally are from poorer backgrounds.
The President received the final report from the commission that was appointed to investigate the feasibility of making higher education and training fee-free in South Africa. The Presidency has been working on the report since the date President Jacob Zuma received it. The Presidency is now finalizing the processing of the report, which requires, among other things, that the Presidency consult with the relevant ministers to ensure that government is ready to implement the President's decision as soon as he releases the report. The consultations with the relevant ministries is at an advanced stage. It is expected that it will be finalized during the course of next week. The President will release the report immediately thereafter.
And joining us is Madiba Makaula from the University of Johannesburg, and ANC Youth League leader. David Funzani is the South African Democratic Student Movement Gauteng spokesperson. Lindoguhle Xulu is with the University of Johannesburg, the Fees Must Fall spokesperson. Good evening to you, and thank you so much, Mr. Funzani. Where we stand at the moment, it's pretty much as if nothing has been done. All of the parallel processes of getting an interministerial committee and to come to essentially what students opposed in the first place.
Yeah, thanks, Cindy, for having me tonight here, and then also to the listeners and then the viewers who are watching AN7. Now, what is currently happening now, since the fees report has been leaked, and then we've read what is status quo, what is saying there and everything. But also, we need to remember that the person who has got that report and then who has linked that report maybe wants to incite violence amongst the students, because now the students currently, they are confused. They don't know what is happening within the president has not released the report, and then someone has linked the report. Because now, if you have linked the report, it means that the students now have to go back and sit and say, is this true or not? Because if the president is going to take out the same report which has been reported now, is going to say that it means that they are playing with us, because this means that there's someone there inside who is busy doing something which is not right.
Do you think that the opportunity is lost in that there's no more room to negotiate with students, albeit that the 1% of GDP to be subsidized to students, the scrapping of the TVET loans, etc. There's some concessions even in the leak report. Are you saying that the students are at a point where they're not interested in hearing anything else besides the free fees?
Cindy, we need to look at the issue here at the end, that whatever that report is, the linked report is saying, is that we need to remember that 1% of the GDP, the government cannot complain about that one. Because if the government is complaining about that 1% GDP, or the report is, what the report is speculating, is that it means that the people that we are talking about, they are the future of South Africa. And then if the government is not catering the youth, whom are they going to cater for? Because the government should cater for the youth at present. And the youth at present, they are saying that the government should give them free education. And then that free education, we are not saying that we want free education for everyone. The government will come with contingency plan on how this is how we're going to give free education to people. Because we're not saying everyone is going to get a free education at all. Because there must be certain students who are deserving to get that free education.
All right, what I'm getting to is, what are the students willing to concede? If this report is anything to go by, and it's tweaked here and there, and the rest of it is, it might just be appeasing to the students. You might find that accommodation, tuition, and other amenities may be covered by the government, and you pay a percentage in increments of fees. So it has to be give or take in this sense.
But we can talk a lot about this linked report, but also we need to check that if we as the students are going to be commenting on something that has been linked, where the government didn't say anything. Well, it seems like we're going to be conceding on something that the government is not concrete, because the government has not said anything.
You've anchored your hopes, it seems to me, that this leaked report is merely either a speculation or, we can't verify the authenticity thereof, that the good news will come when the president delivers.
That's when we're going to check the differ, because I hope, because when that report is going to be, the government is going to come up with a plan on how, because on this one is just a report. The government didn't say anything on what they're going to do, because if the government are going to give us this report, they're going to come up with another plan on how are they going to do this. Because also we need to remember that if they're saying that they're going to scrap all the TVET, what are they going to be 100% in everything, but we need to remember that the money that the students are owing the NSFAS currently, it's a lot of money. And then also you need to remember that when you are done with your qualification, it's not like automatically you are going to get employment. You have to wait another 3 years also. And then by the time you want to pay back that money, there is also interest at place.
Yeah, but how do you continue or, create opportunities for others as well if you're saying that post your qualification you may not be in a position to pay back because you may not be employed, and you may have other obligations, black tax or whatever else. How then do you sustain it for other able students or eligible students to benefit?
No, in other words, the other students will benefit, because if the government makes sure that when they say that they're going to implement free education, they make sure that there are also contingency plans to make sure that these students, when they are done with their first qualification, at least they get something to pay back the money. Because now currently the government is just giving us students loan, but not giving them jobs. Because at the end of the day, we are not getting employment, and it creates a problem. That's why you find that they are saying that students are not paying back the money. Yes, we are not paying back the money because we are not employed. If it's all those students who have used NSFAS, all of them are employed, we are not going to be having the situation that we are having currently.
All right, so as the South African Democratic Students Movement in Gauteng, what is it that for you would be a deal breaker, something that you would gladly join the masses in another Fees Must Fall protest?
I think now, if you want to join the Fees Must Fall, I think what was in that, what we were talking about on that linked report is true. It means that now students are going to go back to the streets. And then if students are going to back to the streets, I would love to go there.
All right, Mr. Funzani, thanks so much. David Funzani, South African Democratic Students Movement Gauteng spokesperson. The rest of our guests, we told, are stuck in traffic, but thanks indeed for joining us. We move on to other